us a rundown of y'all's fits because this is giving exquisite.
So I have this leather jacket. I got it from a story sale on Instagram. Shirt. I tied it up. Bell bottoms. I got it from My Unique. That's my favorite thrift store ever. Cowboy boots. They big as a hill. My bag. I stole this from my mother. I've been collecting these for like 5 years. The glasses. I got them from Burlington Coat Factory. And the belt too. Burlington Coat Factory. Afro. God given. God given.
Hi everyone, my name is Brianna Jones, also known as Brianna.who on Instagram. I'm a multifaceted creative. I model, I'm a creative director, student at FIT, and I do everything in the fashion industry. I'm 21 years old and I'm based in Brooklyn, New York.
Brianna,
That was better. I love that.
that was gorgeous. How are you?
I'm wonderful, a little hot,
Wonderful. A
like
little hot.
it's given hot, humid, very ghetto.
Yeah, this weather, because it's like for one, you're in New York, and then I'm in LA, and both of us are still drowning in fucking
I
heat.
thought you were in Atlanta. You know when you have
Y'all was
like
in
a
Atlanta?
perception of where people are from, you're like, yeah, this person gives me Atlanta vibes.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. It's
Oh.
because a lot of creatives are based in Atlanta, and I'm like, okay.
A lot of black creatives to be like specific though. Yeah.
Yeah, and they also dress like that, like how you
Yeah.
dress, street
Oh,
style.
that's because I'm from DC. Yeah, yeah, and
Almost
I
the
lived in New York for a
DMV.
minute. Yeah, I think I started following you when I lived in New York, which was like 3 years ago, four,
You
3 years
know
ago.
what? You knew me before Brianna even knew herself. That was like Brianna who when I first like left high school.
Mm-hmm. Jesus, how was that? I'm always like super fascinated about the journey of being like a person who's quote unquote famous on the internet. You know, like over the years as you continue to grow followers. Like, how was that for you?
Me personally, I don't think it's like fame. Me, it's just like a collection of people who like what you're doing and like your work. So it's not like fame for me. But to other people, it's like, wow, that is so many followers. But to me, it's just like, these are my homies, these are my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's definitely very fun because I put out work and sometimes I'm very like conscious of what I put out. I'm like, okay, they're not gonna really like this. Like sometimes I gotta post an ad for a check. And sometimes you gotta hit the little smile and be like, buy this product. And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of sometimes a little cringe, but you gotta do it for the check, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta do it for
But
the
I
bag.
wait, what'd you say?
I say, yeah, you gotta do it for the bag.
Right. And sometimes it'd be a good bag, but I still promote products that I would use myself. You know what I mean? But it is a little cringe because you got to make it, have to have your personality in there. And sometimes I feel like I'm trying to suppress my personality and not like do too much, like, because I'm a very happy and very bright, have a very bright, bubbly personality. So I try to like convey that to my audience and then they just eat it up. They be like, wow, like we love that. And sometimes I'm like, oh shit, like people actually, fuck with what I do and I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like having people that grow up with you. So it's really fun. And sometimes I get messages like, you know what, I used to follow you in high school and you used to inspire me. And sometimes it's like crazy because I would just think of it as dressing up and just being myself, but you're inspiring someone just by being yourself.
Which is amazing because it's like you're putting yourself in the position to help other people better express themselves just because you're being you. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's because I think I was talking to somebody. No, not think I was, and I was talking about how like everyone needs like references to like do things or to be things, and that's why the idea of like influencers exists. You know, when you guys are like, "Oh, buy this product, it's great for your skin," it's a reference because they're looking at your skin and like, oh, I should buy that, yeah, you know. But like, not a lot of influencers or creatives or content creators is what I should call them, care too much about like influencing their audience to be themselves, you know, to be genuine, to actually like, you know, take some pride in self. So I have noticed that. I have noticed that you've been doing that for a while, but it's like I'm pretty sure it's hard not to be that person because that's who
Yeah.
you are.
But like when you don't know who you are, but I feel like ever since I was younger, I knew who I wanted to be, but I
Mm-hmm.
just couldn't put my finger on it. But
Mm,
every day, the more projects that I put out, and I'm like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, you know? So that's why I say, like, always try new outlets. That's why I say multifaceted creative, not just like one box, like I'm just a model. Because I do it all.
yeah.
I want to walk a runway. You know, New York Fashion Week? Okay, wait, is this disrupting my manifestations? I'm gonna put it out in the world anyways. I want to run, I want to walk for New York Fashion Week. So, and I'm like 5'6", but
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to walk a runway. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
never walked a runway, but I want to do it because I
Yeah.
feel like I can do it.
5'6"
Just do
don't
it.
5'6" don't mean anything. I know countless model friends out here who are like around your height, 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", whatever it is, and they be walking Paris Fashion Week, you know. So you know, it's possible. Sometimes you just got to get with the right agency, and they'll be like, okay, you know, inclusion, you know, you're short, so you can come on and walk. But you know, sometimes when people want to do the inclusion thing, you know, it might actually like fit your schedule. It's like, okay, I'll be your one out of many. So
Hmm.
yeah, but no,
But this industry is
I
definitely
think that's
hard.
gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want that for you too. I want to walk the runway too one of these days.
Who
That's
doesn't? Isn't that so cool? Just walking, like, and then you be featured in Vogue. Can you
mm-hmm.
imagine?
Haven't you been featured in Vogue?
No. I mean,
No.
yes, like one time, like some street photographer took a picture of me and my friend, and we were featured in Vogue, but I want to be featured in Vogue, like an editorial picture, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's surprising because like in my head, I'm like, you've probably been already featured in Vogue so many times.
All right, keep that perception of me. You
Of
just
course.
manifested. You just manifested
Of
into
course.
me.
As far as I'm concerned, it's already happened and it's gonna happen plenty more times. Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Um, but yeah, I'm really fascinated by like because I know you say that you're like super multifaceted, but like what's the one thing out of all the things that you do that like interconnect everything that makes you like super excited to do the stuff that you do?
Shit, that is girl. Last time I checked, this was not school. Why was that a challenging question? I would say, well, all of my interests pertain to fashion. I think that's like one thing that ties it up.
Oh my
But
gosh.
what? Oh,
Continue.
okay. One thing that all my interests pertain to fashion, so like modeling or creative directing and styling, they all pertain to fashion. So I think that answers your question. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole question. Or rephrase it in a different way so I can answer it a little
No, no,
better.
it does. For example, so for me, I do these interviews, and I'm also starting like some other stuff in regards to like creating a like space for creatives out here in LA,
Mhm.
um, a genuine space for creatives because it's not LA is really weird
Yeah.
sometimes.
Hmm.
But what I know for me is that everything that I do has to do with like telling stories. You know, telling stories and then bringing people together and helping them address their mental health without talking about their mental health. You know, healing through like not talking about like your feelings, if that makes any sense. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So if fashion, because in many ways fashion is like is a very physical thing, but like fashion is like so deep, you know. It's about how clothes make you feel, it's about the silhouette, it's about the palette, you know, colors, all those things. So you know, if we sat here and we like broke it down for you, it could be like on a very cloudy day you might pop on some yellow, you know. You know what I'm saying? Or like
Mm-hmm.
on a day when you're not feeling like proud of like I don't how do I phrase this? Because I know I tend to feel like this sometimes because us being black, it can be a lot to be black. So you might
Mm-hmm.
be like,
I love
it's like it's feeling like very like dangerous to be black today. Let me go put on all brown. You know, like overdo it type thing. You know what I'm saying? So like fashion is such like an interesting language. So everything you do, including your personality, comes out in your clothing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? So I actually started to find like my sense of style going into college. Like when I went to college, I was like, okay, we got to be this, minimalistic girly because we're going to FIT. We have to look more mature. But I realized I have a very youthful face. Like I'm 21 right now, but I look like I'm 12. So either way, people are going to look at me and be like, oh my God, this little tiny girl is going to college.
Hmm.
But I felt the need to like fit in with other people at my school because it is a PWI, predominantly white institution, and I
Yeah.
am black. And at the time, I was growing out my hair, but I wasn't really like confident in like wearing it out naturally. So I tried to like fit in. So I was like, okay, let me get some Dr. Martens and some jeans and like
The
blazers
casual
and
white outfit. Yeah.
yes. And I wasn't really like happy with my style. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, I actually had like just moments of just like, dang, like, why am I doing this? I would go into class and I just felt like I was less than, mostly because I was the only black person. Like, there's other like black people in my class, but most of my major, I study fashion business management. I was mostly the only black person in class. And I would take these African American classes. Sorry if you hear the train, I'm right by the train.
You're fine.
Okay. Yeah, I would take these African American courses, and I ended up having to tell like, oh yeah, like, being black in America is so hard. And I was like, you know what? I gotta stop speaking because I don't have to be the voice for all black Americans.
Thank you for
So I'm
saying
gonna
that.
just shut up and just be me.
Hmm.
I forgot where this story was going. Oh yeah, so I remember I had this experience when I did my first modeling gig at FIT. There was this club, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're hosting auditions." So I auditioned because I wasn't really like confident in modeling, but I was like, "Okay, let me do it." I went there, and they were like, "Oh, the hairstylist wants to speak to you." You know what that means. Out of all the
Hmm.
people, the hairstylist want to speak to me, and
Right.
then he was like, "Oh, so what are we gonna do with this?" And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, oh, you're not going to look like the other girls. Like, you have to straighten your hair so we can slick it back. And I was like, straighten my hair so I can slick it back. And, I'm not trying to be the angry black woman. But it came out because eventually he went backstage and he was like, oh, you're being too complicated. And, and I've been in this industry for many, many years. And, I've done hair for Naomi Campbell and Oprah. And, they all straighten their hair to be on the runway. And I was like, well, I'm not them. He's like, well, your bush cannot walk down the runway. I'm looking this way. I'm
Hmm.
looking that way. Because who is the other bush in here? I had like the thickest texture on, not on set, but like, in the club. So obviously he talking about my bush. And I feel like after that experience, that was like my first, because all the other schools I went to, they were all like predominantly black people. I would, they're all like predominantly black. So I didn't really experience like racism, but that was such a moment in my life. So I feel like after that moment, I kind of got like sad, like, dang, like I'm not even anywhere yet. And this is the way that people are treating me. And that man was black. Can you imagine that man was black?
Of course he was.
That man was black telling me and my black bush that I could not go down the runway looking like this. And that just took such a toll on my self-confidence. And imagine that's just oh Lord, I can't even speak. That's my first semester at FIT.
Mm.
He's telling me I cannot walk down the runway with my bush. And how can you say that? Like I literally grew this out of my hair. This is God given. You know what I mean? I feel like after that in the pandemic, I was like, you know what? I can't just go into these white institutions and feeling like I'm less than, because they would answer the questions and, you would think that they know what they're talking about. But if you really listen, they don't really know what they're talking about.
They never
I
do.
realized that they're just talking for the participation credits. Anyways, so I was like, if I'm gonna walk into a space, a white space, you're gonna see me. So I started growing out my hair. The whole pandemic, I started growing out my hair. I was like, I'm gonna grow my afro. And I honestly got inspired by like 1970s culture, which is why I love the 70s because, that was a movement for the afro. So I got inspired by them and I just started rocking my afro. So if I'm gonna come in the room, you're gonna see me. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
loud. I was already loud because I'm black, but now I'm loud and proud. You gonna see
Mhm.
me. Come in the room, you gonna see Brianna
I love
Jones.
that for you. You know,
Oh yeah.
that's I know so many models or
Mhm.
whomever to specifically talk about the art industry in general who go through situations like that when someone's like, well, you know, the industry doesn't want to do this and all this other bullshit. But it's like it's crazy to me because the only reason why they don't want to do is because they're just not doing it. If you start doing it, then everyone else is going to follow suit. So of course it's only racism. It has nothing to do with what looks nice on the runway, my nigga. Like I'm modeling, I'm modeling like clothes. I'm not modeling my hair.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're telling me I gotta damage my hair right now for this meet, for this dumbass club. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I can leave. You know, apparently you don't want me, and I don't need you. You know, but
You know
the
what's
fact that
funny?
you took that and you turned it into something positive, and you turned it into something that you were able to like feel empowered and embrace yourself. And I don't know. I want to. Oh, I saw this like cool little like media thing up here, and I feel like it's a great time to do this. Hold on.
Which one? That's- Stop it. Stop it.
I want to give you a round of applause for like loving yourself, even when the world was telling you that you should love yourself less. You were like, "Well, fuck you. I'm just gonna double down."
Right. But it
You know.
took a while. Like it didn't happen overnight. And I feel like that's something that we see on Instagram. It's like, oh yeah, she just started posting overnight. Like,
Mhm.
no, like that happened in like 2019, October of 2019, and I didn't start growing out my hair and wearing my natural hair until like late 2020, you know? So
Mm.
it took like a year. Like I was still like timid cuz I have a bright personality, but on first impression, sometimes I'm really shy, especially in rooms that I'm not really comfortable in. I'm really shy. Like I will literally sit there and not answer a question, and I know every answer, but I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to say anything because you know when you answer a question and people just everybody just turn and look
They
back
just be
at you.
staring and looking at you and trying to see
I'm
if you're
like,
gonna be stupid.
that's what I'm saying. And it's I feel like, everybody just stares. Now, now I'm used to it. Before I
Yeah.
was like, dang, like why everybody staring at do I stink? Like, why is it even when I started growing out my hair, like I was like I would go into the train. I would go into a train and everybody just started looking at me, just turn their heads. I'm like, geez, like do I stink? Like what is it? It's just people don't see afros that often. I realized that it was just girl, I got a unique face. And to me it's
Mhm.
just like, oh yeah, it's just my natural hair. But to everybody else, it's like, wow, this big thing, but I was like, no, it's just me. But I gotta stop saying it's just me because to me, like this is a regular day. I wear
Yeah.
this and like some jeans and call it a day. But they're like, wow, you look so dressed up, and I'm like, no, like I dragged on clothes and
Nah, they
just
just don't get it.
that's me.
They just don't get it. It's alright. Either you get it or you don't get it, or whatever it is. I live in I live in well, Los Angeles is like majority of like Hispanic folk, right? And I wear a damn cowboy hat like more often than not. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
like, and so it's like wearing my cowboy hat and going outside. I get all these like Hispanic folks just staring at me all the time because they be wearing their cowboy hats and yeah whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like look at this nigga wearing this, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm 6'3", you know, six
You
foot
six
three.
foot three?
Yeah, I'm tall as fuck.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, I'm tall.
I'm
I know,
giving you
cause
20?
not, I'm 23. I'm 20. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, that
Well,
was the mean. That was the
no, no,
mean.
no.
No,
I know.
okay, good, good.
I was being a head ass by answering the question. Um, but yeah, like I get it in a way because I'm a tall black man. I be wearing cowboy hats and shit, and like I be dressing, you know, like I be trying to put on the fit every day. You know what I'm saying? So people just aren't used to people being confident in who they are and themselves and loving themselves and being okay with going outside and being different because they're worried that someone might judge them if if they decide to be different. You know, so you're a walking, art piece. You're a walking framed up painting, you know what I'm saying? And then how you be coordinating all your pieces and the shades and the silhouettes, chef's kiss. So of course people are gonna look at you and idolize you and be like, oh my goodness, you know?
Yeah.
So you should be proud of that. You know, those eyes are well deserved.
Thank you so much. But I admit it's a little. Sometimes it's a bit much. Like you just want to
Hmm.
go outside, but it's like it's a lot.
See, you are
Also,
famous.
no,
Hmm.
these are just like regular people.
So you famous though.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just start saying yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
I'm
go.
famous. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh wait, I didn't wrap up that story. How the outcome of the other story where they told me to straighten my hair, I ended up not straightening my hair because I was like, no. And it was a trade school that was doing your hair, so it's not like professionals doing your hair. I mean, I get it, but they were still students. But
Hmm.
no, respectfully, no, I'm not gonna trust anybody with my hair. Like this is my crown. Yeah. So I ended up going to the school and they braided my hair, but they braided in like tracks. It looked crazy. Like it they braided my hair like I was gonna get a sew in.
They was trying to do too much.
Yeah, and then they put this cheap ponytail in the back. And then oh my gosh. I remember I said it out loud. I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna straighten my hair." And some white girl was like, "I don't see the point. Like, all you gotta do is just straighten your hair. Like, it was just one time." I can't. I can't. And I realize that not everybody's going to understand your experience. And you don't have to explain yourself. Stop explaining yourself. That time, I was explaining myself like, no, that's so racist. Like, you can't do that. And I was trying to explain to the teacher, I was like, this is my hair. Like, it's not, like, my hair does not like heat. It does not like these things. Like, once I straighten my hair, it's gone.
Right.
Like I don't like ever since this is like my third time going natural. Like I would grow it out, put some braids in, and I don't know what to do with it. But I'm like, no, like I'm gonna wear it outside. You see it? You see it? Are you seeing it?
Hmm.
This took some time. Put
Oh,
some heat in it,
100%.
the texture is gone.
Hmm. I don't know how you be surviving outside though.
Oh, it's not that bad because it's my hair just grows up.
Uh-huh.
Like this is my forehead. It doesn't really touch my face. It mostly touches my ears, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
So the New York heat don't be like destroying it, or you just used to it. You're probably just used to it. Yeah.
I'm used to it. And if anything, I like okay, I know everyone's like, "Oh my god, I got to show my how long my hair is." Me personally, I don't care. I
Hmm.
like it when it's like small
Hmm.
because it
It just
it has
frames your
that
face better.
exactly. Like
Hmm.
sometimes I pick it out when I first pick it out, it looks a little crazy. Like, those weird it looks like that. And I'm like, "What
Hmm.
the hell?" But you just pick it in, you take a little scarf. I like my scarf and you just pet it down. And look at
Hmm.
it, perfect circle. Yeah. So that show was crazy. But and then they had the audacity. They had the audacity to text us an email. "Oh my gosh, we love the show. We had such diversity, like such diverse cast, and we were just diverse, diverse, diverse." Stop. That's when I learned a lot. There was a lot of culture shock going to FIT.
Yeah.
I learned that people just like to use the word diversity just they use it a little too loosely. Like just, oh my
Hmm.
God, we have so many black people on this cast.
There we go.
Diverse.
There we go. They just mean black. Just mean
Like,
black.
whew, it
You
was
know
a
what I'm
lot.
saying?
Even
Yeah.
like going to a job. I had a job at Museum Ice Cream. It was cute or whatever. We have such a diverse, we have such diverse employees. No, you just have a lot of black people working for you. Do you see any black people in the higher ups?
Hmm.
No.
Right.
Stop lying.
Hmm.
Anyways, that's done. They use it a
No
little too loosely
bullshit.
for me.
Nah, you gonna get that for the rest of your life. 'Cause people
I don't know.
love. It's crazy how like saying the word diverse makes them feel like they're doing some type of justice for another community, and then it gets crazy because when you say diverse, you might be like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of like it's POC and then all this other shit. But it's like majority of the time, it's only diverse when you add a black person because I know it's like there's still like gaps in representation in other demographics and groups and stuff, but they will always choose them before they choose us. And then when they add us in, they feel like, oh my goodness, it's like Thanos, they got all the rings on their gloves, they got all the little jewels and shit. Now they have all the power or whatever, right? So, man, earlier you was mentioning how you weren't gonna let these obstacles change how you feel about yourself. You were just going to create your own lane. Go about it your way, do your own thing. And I think that's something that more people should try to do.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to get to a point where I was like, I don't really need anyone else to validate me. Um,
Hmm.
so in regards to these interviews, like I wanted to do this a long time ago, but I felt that I needed something else. I needed a certain whatever this is, what and blah blah blah. But like one day I woke up and I was like, let me just go call somebody I know and do the first interview, and then after that did what it's supposed to do.
Hmm.
Like create these spaces for yourself. When you was like, I'm just gonna grow my hair, I'm gonna start dressing, and
Right.
either y'all gonna like it or you gonna steal it from me.
Hmm.
Because because most of the times when they tend to steal from when they tend to steal from black people, they don't even like the thing that they're stealing. They're just doing it just because. I
Because they
think that's
see
like
that other people are praising you for it. They're like, oh my God,
right,
if I try it, like, I'm going to get the same reactions as her. No,
right.
I'm original, babes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
original.
100%. So I'm curious, what's your emotional attachment to the art that you create? Whether that's the clothes you put on, or whether you paint, or influence your life, whatever it is. What's your emotional attachment to it?
I feel like whenever I dress up and just, I feel like I'm making my younger self happy. It makes me very happy to wake up every morning like, oh my God, what outfit am I gonna put on today? What accessories am I gonna accessorize with today? It just makes me so happy just looking in the mirror and being like, okay, I really put this together. It's like
Right.
my art piece. Like earlier you said I was a working masterpiece. That's what it feels like.
Hmm.
I don't like paint or like draw. I've dabbled in that industry, but I realized that it's not for me. Maybe if I took the time to, took the patience, but I don't really no. No.
Hmm.
I like this is my art form.
Yeah.
Putting on clothes and thrifting. Oh Lord, I love thrifting.
Hmm.
Like finding the pieces. It's literally like a walking art collection. For
Yeah.
example, nobody knows this. People just think I just have on rings, but each of my rings have like a different story to them.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Okay,
Because
so
of how
this
you
is my
found them.
first. Yeah, yeah. Like I hate when people ask me like, "Oh my God, where'd you get your rings?" It's not one place because I've been collecting these since high school. Like this one is like my first baby ring, and I actually got it fixed so I can wear it now. My mom got this one for me when I graduated high school. This one a brand sent me, but I love it. Like this one a flea market. They're like $7 each. So some of them are like real, some of them are fake. Gold plate. There's different plates.
Hmm.
Don't rob me now. If you were to rob me now, you only get like $5. So
Right.
don't rob. But like it's literally a walking masterpiece. This is my first custom ring and it's kind of changing, but it's okay. Like there's different things to it. So
Hmm.
people don't know that I'm wearing like my whole story on my finger.
Oh, I
And I kind
love
of like
that.
that cuz but I like when people ask me sometimes cuz I
Yeah.
answer like, "Oh yeah, these are my rings of several years,"
Hmm. That's so
And even
beautiful.
like sorry. So I keep interrupting you.
No, 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 you're not. I'm just reassuring you. I'm telling you like how like that's great. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. Even like the clothes that I wear, I like to thrift. So I've been thrifting for a while now, but I actually just started getting into vintage shopping. So I like that each piece that I'm wearing has a story. Like I love collecting leather jackets, and sometimes I think I'm like, oh my gosh, like somebody's hooker mom was wearing this in the 70s and she burnt a cigarette in this. Like this is so cool. Like I have a jacket with a cigarette stain. I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so much personality to the jacket.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
and I just
wise.
like to think about the story that each piece has. Like my bell bottoms, I'm like, oh my God, I got these, and like this was my first piece that I've ever like bought. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So each piece has a story, but I just never tell it. But I like to know that each piece has a story.
That goes crazy because a lot of people don't even put that much effort into the things that they put on. They just they buy it for either a trend, or they buy it because they saw someone else have it, or whatever it is. But like the fact that like you value everything you have for like what it is, where it came from, the possible story or narrative behind it. So when you put it on, it's like again now you're like a walking like film. You're a walking storyteller.
That's
It's
what I feel
crazy.
like. Oh, that's the last thing I feel like. So in the morning, I'm like, okay, so if I was to be a movie character, what would it be? So I usually I'm inspired by my style is inspired by like a lot of black exploitation films because they're just so badass. Like they wake up, put the coat on, and then they just strutting. So I be strutting. I be like, you know what? Like today we are in a Foxy film. Yeah,
Hmm. I love
that's the
Foxy Brown.
intel, right? She is
Hmm.
gorgeous. It's good, and I love Pam Grier herself. Love
Hmm.
her.
Absolutely. That's tough.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I've never. I have a homie who be putting on fits because that's his whole life. Um,
Mhm.
and like he puts on fits for like super emotional reasons, like he like, oh, I put this on because like it makes me feel like, like Kanye type thing, but like he don't dress like Kanye, but like
Mm,
the I love Kanye type of feeling,
yeah.
um and it's so fascinating to hear someone else's journey with their pieces because most people don't really think that deeply about the art of putting on a fit,
Yeah.
the art of clothing, because niggas don't really be passionate no more. They
They
don't be
don't
passionate about the
care,
stuff they do anymore. So,
especially on TikTok. They just want to copy other people's trends and just
man, TikTok's a whole
whatever,
nother story.
whatever.
Jeez. But so this is a part of the podcast where I give you a choice. Either we can close out, or I can just let you speak for however long you want to speak about whatever you want to talk about.
I mean, I could speak all day.
All right, just let
Let's.
me just
I love this.
Just let me know when you're done. You can talk about whatever hell you want to talk about.
Dang.
Let me go turn off my micity mic.
Dang. No more questions. Okay. Okay. Do you know what's so funny? Are you still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
All right. So someone asked me, "Oh, why do you want to do fashion?" Ever since I was a young girl, it's a very stupid reason, but it's a very good one. And this is why I feel like representation matters. And that's why I do the things that I do, like wear my afro big and just be black and amazing. When I was younger, I was watching this show, you know, Bratz, like the Bratz dolls.
Yeah.
They had a show. I don't. A lot of people don't know that they had a show, but they had a show. I used to tune in every single week. And there were two characters on there, Yasmin and Sasha. I didn't know that Yasmin was Latino, but a Latina, but she was my skin complexion. I was like, oh my gosh, she's black. And basically, they had like the same story that I have right now. They wanted to be in this magazine and they couldn't, and for some reason, and they're like, you know what? Screw her. And she was white too. They were like, screw her. We're gonna make our own magazine. We're gonna make our own clothes. And that's literally the reason why I wanted to be in the fashion industry, anyways. So 7 years old. And then I vowed ever since to be a fashion designer. And I remember growing up, people would be like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" When you ask kids like, "Oh, what do you want to be? A doctor, a psychologist?" And I people would like, I hate the way that adults are like, "No, are you sure you want to be that? Like, are you sure you want to be
Projecting, yeah.
that?" Yeah, like, girl, back off. I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm a fashion designer, and I'm gonna be one."
Right.
You could not tell me what I wanted to do when I was a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept doing it. Like, and I actually lost like some confidence because I'm in a Jamaican family. My family is Jamaican.
Oh no,
They're like,
I feel you. I'm Caribbean, so go ahead.
right, where you from?
Barbados.
Oh,
Hmm.
I don't really know about that. Only about Riri. That's it. But yeah, like my whole family, they're like, oh, she's always doing crafts on the side. She's always doing that stupidness. And that gets to you. Like I'm still healing from that trauma. But
Right.
that kind of gets to you, like, dang, can you imagine your own family saying, oh, she's always doing that stupid modeling thing. She's always doing that stupid cutting up and making stupidness. And that used to get to me. But that's why I appreciate like going like outside influences, like going to school, my teachers will always be like, "Oh my God, like you're so talented. You should actually pursue this." And I'm like, "Oh really?" Like my mom said I can't really do it, so I don't really know. But those teachers, shout out to all my teachers. I don't know if they're watching this. I have a few of them on Instagram though. But shout out to all my teachers. All my teachers from like middle school. I feel like middle school was a very good like sixth grade to eighth grade. Shout out to
Hmm.
all those teachers and we were in the hood. I'm from East New York. Wait, do they know that I'm from? Oh Lord, I'm from East New York, Brooklyn. I went to that school down there, and they were like, "Yeah, like y'all gonna make it out the hood. Y'all gonna make it out the hood." And I was like, "You right." So yeah, and thanks to my teachers in middle school, I applied to the High School of Fashion Industries. surprisingly, I got in. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really eating, you know? And I did like a few competitions here and there, like Kleinfeld, where I made my own wedding dress. And that was like the first time my mom was like, oh shit, like she's really doing this for realsies. Like it's not a phase. Then I applied to the Fashion Institute of Technology. Let me tell you, that was the only college I applied for. Are you hearing me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I was applying to like, I had phases. I was like, I want to go to Howard, like, Howard, I want to be like black
I'm glad you
and
didn't.
woo. Why?
And it's not a good school.
Oh, you went there?
I mean, I'm from DC. I went to Morgan though.
I've been to Morgan's campus. Like, those school tours, I went to all of them. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to one of these HBCUs. Like, I want to be on these black campuses with black people. Like, yeah. But
It
my
ain't it.
mom was like, are you paying for that? And I was like, you're right. Next. So I was like, okay, maybe Parsons. I went into their open house and I was like, when you can feel the vibe of the campus?
Mhm.
That vibe was not there at Parsons. I was like, maybe this is not for me. I went to FIT. I felt the vibes. It was nice vibes. It was like, okay, the friendly environment. And they had a student panel. At Parsons, they had a teacher's panel. Why the hell would I want to know a teacher's perspective of a school? Anyways, I applied to FIT. Like, I had a moment, I was like, I'm going to do this. The question they asked me, why do I want to be here? Why, what's my story? And that's when I had to actually think, why am I actually in this industry? I told them about the Barbie story and I was like, you know what? I wanted to do fashion design, like making my own dresses. And then I realized maybe I don't want to make my own clothing because I feel like I can sew, but I like sewing for my own reasons. Like in high school, it was just like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And I'm like, okay, back off. I don't like having deadlines for my fun interest, and that's why I
Right.
realized you're not supposed to turn every hobby into a money scheme because dang, like I love sewing for my own reasons, not for everyone to be like, okay, this dress has to be done in 2 days. Your rent depends on it. Like, back up. So I told them that from that experience, I realized that I wanted to do something more in the creative industry, maybe like fashion business, where it's like, okay, fashion buying and buying for like Saks Fifth, or I was about to say Barney's, but Barney's is out of stock. Barney's is bankrupt. But buying for those stores, and I realized, okay, maybe now I'm in my senior year of college, and I'm like, okay, this is not it, because it's just like Excel sheets.
Mhm.
You're a professional math whatever. You're a professional accountant, like a fancy accountant. I don't really like that. I want to do something more creative, and that's why I put more effort into my Instagram rather than college. I'm doing great in college. Don't Let's be for real. But I wanted to change my major. Like I was going through this period in time where I'm like this. Actually, last semester I was like, this major sucks. Like everybody, when they have like the state your name, what do you do, and why are you here? All of them talking about some. Oh yeah, I do like, I work at this, I'm a clerk here, and I do this. And I'm like, y'all sound so boring. Like, where is the fun?
Right.
So now I know I want to do like more like social media marketing or maybe PR, something
Mhm.
more fun where I have like, I get to play with stuff, like I get to
Mhm.
play with fashion, I get to play with like not spreadsheets but like PowerPoints, make something fun. I feel like now I know like that. I'm thankful that I went to FIT because I learned what I don't want to do anymore, but I
That's
still have the
gorgeous.
degree. Don't play me. I got the degree. I'm about to get the degree. I got 1 degree already. I'm about to get 2 degrees. 2 degrees
Mhm.
higher. Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. That's wait. Where is it at?
Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. 2 degrees hotter. Exactly. So I'm about to get my bachelor's because we love black people getting degrees. Yeah. And then
Ooh,
I'm gonna do whatever I want after this.
you're so great. Um. So I want to say thank you so much for blessing me with your
Mhm.
presence, your amazing personality, because you're super animated, and I love that so much.
Thank you.
Um, uh, I I don't know. I lived in New York for quite some time. Me and some homies or whatnot took some classes at FIT, did my little thing, and it was for like fashion and marketing and a whole bunch of other shit. But
Oh Lord.
no, it's just I'm always so like just fascinated by how creators not creators, but artists, right? Because I'm trying to get
Mhm.
out of calling people creators or content creators because those are
Or
two
you can
different
say like
things.
creative.
Yeah, yeah,
Create.
yeah. But it's like it seems like where the industry is going is that
Mhm.
to be like a creative or a content creator that's more like political, you know,
Yeah.
versus people going back to just being artists. Like when you were telling me about like when you put on your clothes, you're creating art. You're not creating content or
Mhm.
anything, you know.
I never thought of it like that. I'm gonna
Um,
start calling myself an artist now.
because you are, walking piece of art. You put on clothes, just changing a painting up every single time, but no, I really do appreciate you taking this time out to chit chat. This will be out Sunday, this Sunday.
Thank
um
you for contacting me. This is this is very fun.
you're great, you're great. I hope I'm planning on coming. I don't know whenever I'm in New York, I'll let you
Mhm.
know. We can go thrifting. Fucking would love to do that. But yeah, so to everyone who is watching, who really, really enjoyed this interview, I want to say thank you. And this was a conversation with.
Brianna Jones, aka Coco Jones, aka Brianna Daho.
It's been a conversation with Brianna Daho. Um,
Mhm.
it's been amazing. I learned so much. And everyone else, you guys are amazing. You are enough. You are gorgeous. Please be true to yourself. No matter what fit you put on, that fit is you. And as long as you're comfortable and you're doing it for yourself, that's all that matters. All right. Peace, love, and
Oh Lord, is my black card revoked?
peace, love, and mercy.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much.
Oh my
Oh my goodness,
goodness.
you're so great. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
So
Bye.
gorgeous. Bye bye.